Bonjour, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexsonia. If this is the first time that you see me, welcome. These are videos that I have been divinely guided to share with you here on YouTube because I've had a pretty incredible life. And it all started when I was 6 years old. So in my past video, I was talking about how I had broken both my wrists and was in pretty rough shape for 3 months where I could do nothing, and I was in casts up to here on both arms. So I had to be bathed, I had to have people cook for me, do everything for me, and also as well as other things that I learned with this experience. I think letting go of control was a big one as well, because I am extremely independent, and I'm used to doing everything by myself, and I don't really let people do stuff for me because that's just the way I'm built, you know. So I guess that had a lot to do with it. And in April, I had to go back to work. Not had to, actually. I could have actually stayed on disability, and but I wanted to go back to work because after 3 months of being in a cast and being immobile, I just couldn't anymore. I had to go back to work. So I did go back to work, and then when I got there, it was a completely new place. It had like all new staff. It had all it was completely a different place than when I originally started to work there. So I didn't like it at all, and then I was like, okay, well, you know, like, I'm not one to torture myself with a job. So I just said, I'm gonna find another place. So I did. A month later, I found another place to work at, and it was a private club on the lake, my favorite place to be. And then so I started working there, and this place, the money was incredible, and then I had 3 months off paid for as well. So yeah, it was a win-win situation. But also I had to leave my house that I had been living there for 30 years. My neighbor was a complete nightmare, and I could not sleep. I couldn't sleep in the night, I couldn't sleep in the day. I tried to change my shifts from working daytime to nighttime. This lasted 6 years. I was just like at the end of my rope. There was nothing that I could do to stop these people from partying or whatever they were doing for 6 years, and I just had to get out of there. So I started looking for a new place, and then it took me 6 months and of diligent, you know, looking, and I finally found this place. It was absolutely amazing. So it was again it was like literally like 2 minutes from my new job, and then I could just walk over if I wanted to, and it was a triplex, so I only had one person below me and one person above me, and everything was you know, like, I mean, like, I hounded the owner because I really wanted to be there, and yeah, I got what I wanted. So this is how this went down. I get there with the moving truck, unload, everything is done like within the same day. At this point, I had my last cat, which his name is Bojangles. And so me and Bojangles move into this new place, and I'm thinking that I knew ahead of time that Bojangles would be in hell because like I said in my past videos, I've had like all the cats that I've had are rescues, and this was my youngest one. This one is the one that I had, like, I think he was a year old when I found him. So he was used to, first of all, living with, I had 6 cats at one point. So, and he was the youngest of them all. But during COVID, I lost 3 cats to COVID. So this was absolutely crazy, and the grief that I went through, because like I said, my animals were my babies. And yeah, I had 3 cats that got COVID. So they all had the same symptoms. It was like snotty eyes and just horrible whatever. And so Bojangles was used to being around, like you know, his brothers and sisters, and then so he had to get used to being on his own. And then he did have like some friends outside, because he was like an indoor outside cat. But you know, when you're used to being free, and I had a cat window, so they used to come in and out as they pleased. But in this place, I knew that I would have to keep him inside for a little bit until he would get used to the neighborhood and all that. So already I knew that that was going to be a nightmare. So that was like a big fear that I had. And the other big fear that I had was noisy neighbors, right? So these were my 2 biggest fears moving into this place. Well, when you fear, you attract what you fear, because you attract your most dominant thought, right? So yep, this is what I attracted to myself. So the first morning that I am waking up in this new place, first of all night long, after we moved, we waited until like the last possible second to bring Bojangles over to this new house. And the whole night he was screaming, not meowing, he was screaming, like, get me the hell out of here, and where am I, and what's going on? So, and this cat is a black and white cat, but he's crossed somewhere along his line of breeding, was crossed with a Siamese. So I don't know if you know what a Siamese cat sounds like when they're angry, but it's basically sounds like a child screaming to death. So this is what I dealt with all night long. And I was extremely tired from the move all day long, you know, like moving, and the stress of letting my place go after 30 years and all the experiences that I've had there. And it was just like really, really a hard moment for me. But, and for Bojangles, right? So 5 o'clock in the morning comes around, and my neighbor upstairs works for a film company, and wakes up like at 5 o'clock in the morning, and walks around with his construction boots on hardware floors above me. And I was just like, oh my God, what is that, you know? So it takes him like from the time that he woke up at 5 o'clock, walking around the house, putting his boots on, and then just back and forth through the whole condo. And I was just like, oh my God, this is what? So at 5:30, this guy comes down the stairs in his construction boots and leaves. And I was like, oh my God, I hope that this is not going to be happening every single morning. At 6 o'clock, my neighbor, next door neighbor, wakes up to go to the gym. and starts her truck and has no muffler. So, I mean, it was just like, what's happening right now? What's happening? Starts her truck, goes, and then the two houses they were actually like a twin triplex, and then it was like a very narrow, like I could barely fit my car in the alleyway in between the two houses. So she leaves with her truck with no muffler, and I was just like, okay. At 6 o'clock, the neighbor downstairs wakes up and is banging on her son's door for him to wake up, and is screaming her head off for the kid to get up. And I was just like, no, 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 no. This is not happening to me. Like this can't be happening to me. Then the girl comes back from the gym with her truck with no muffler. This whole time my cat is losing his shit, okay? He's losing it. He's going crazy. And then I'm experiencing all of this at the same time. She comes back from the gym, again, muffler, parks her car, goes inside for a while. The whole time the girl downstairs is screaming, and then she starts her fan in the washroom, and her fan is directly underneath my bed, and it sounds like a 747 that just started underneath my bed. At this point, I just start crying, because I'm just like, first of all, so exhausted, and I just can't believe what's happening to me right now. At 8 o'clock, the woman next door releases her two children that, like, basically, like, it was like letting dogs out of a cage, okay? It was like these two kids come out of the house screaming their heads off in the yard. My bedroom is right here. The yard is in the back. This is what I'm experiencing right now. And I'm just going like, no, I didn't know. This can't be happening to me. Like this, it took me 6 months to find this place. 9 o'clock rolls around. I'm still in bed crying, thinking like I'm in the worst nightmare that you can imagine. I have a truck in front of my house, right in front of the house, and it's a wood chipper, and it's cutting the branches on the tree that's inside, like on the front lawn of this house, and it is making an absolute nightmare of a sound. At this point, I called Jay, and I was like, I said, I just moved to the 7th circle of hell. I can't believe that this is happening to me. It took us 6 months to find this place, and I literally found the worst place with my worst fears. I couldn't believe it. And this place was like it was like a super quiet, like like out of the way road, but I found out that same day that it's a shortcut to get to a major road. So all the people that are like cutting across like the shortcut and are coming up the street like at 150 miles an hour. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even let out Bojangles even if I wanted to. I mean, this cat is not gonna, he's not gonna survive, you know? Like, I'm telling you that everything was like the worst scenario that you can imagine. So I didn't know what to do. I was completely freaking out. I was just like, this absolutely can't be happening to me. So And then I had just started like this new job at the same time, which was extremely demanding from me because, like I said, I'm an event planner, so I have like these weddings and all these funerals. And during the time that I was there during the summer, I had 9 weddings. So I mean, like I was like super super busy, you know. And amongst the other parties that are in between the weddings. Anyways, I one day we go for a ride, and then we went to this you know, shops, where crystal shops, where they sell like all the crystals and candles and stuff like that. And I said to we came in there, and then the owner, she is like uh, you know, my age girl type of thing, black, jet black hair. And I asked her, I said, listen, I said, do you have anything for curses? Because at this point, I literally think that I'm cursed. I mean, I literally think that I'm cursed. So I'm thinking, I just talked to God, you know, like some months ago, and then now the dark side is coming after me because this can't be happening to me. And she goes, yeah, of course I do. And I'm thinking, okay. So she brings out this candle, and it's like for hexes and for stuff like that, right? So I'm just like, wow, I didn't even know these things existed, right? Like uh right, I had no idea. So I'm with Jay, and then she starts explaining to us how to use this candle. And I mean, this woman is like, she is serious like a heart attack, okay? Like, I mean, she means business. So she's telling us how to do this candle. So she goes, okay, you have to start it on a new moon. And guess what? It was a new moon that day. So she's like, you have to light it. First of all, she goes, you have to put this candle in a pot, in a huge pot. And she goes, put it in the bathtub. She goes, because while it's doing its things, she goes, sometimes it can like burst, you know. And I was like, okay. So she goes, you have to light it at 9 o'clock. With this, you have to, there was like a little card with her candle there, and I had to write my full name. And then I had to, there was like a little saying that I had to say when I'm lighting the candle, and to ask for protection, and to state what the issue was and all that. And I had to write that down on this little paper. So so when I got back home, I did exactly what she did. I got a pot. I put this candle inside. I put it in the bathtub. I filled out the card with my name and with everything. And then underneath, she goes, oh yeah, I had to put a picture of myself with my name and everything underneath these candles. I swear, I've never been so scared to do anything like that, because literally it was like a spell of some sort. And then I was like, I was pretty nervous, you know, like I've never done anything like that. So so yeah, so this is what I had to do. And then she explained that it had to be lit at 9 o'clock. And then she said that by 12 o'clock it should be like, all this candle had like different colors, and it had like seeds in one, and it had flower petals in another, and it had sparkles. I mean, it was like multi-layered candle. And she was explaining how she does these candles on a full moon, and then how she infuses them with like good energy, and like, and all of this, you know. And I'm thinking, okay. So I had like a little card of Archangel Michael. So I put him underneath the picture of me, and then my name and all of that underneath the candle. So I do everything she says. At 9 o'clock, I light the candle, and I'm like, like I keep going to the washroom to make sure that it's still lit and everything. And oh yeah, she said to open the window of the washroom. And in my washroom, like I said, the buildings were so close to each other, and I didn't want, obviously, the next door neighbor to see in my washroom. So I had like a mirror that we had put inside this window frame, and we had cocked it so that, so that it was not going anywhere, right? Like it's in the frame of the window. But I have a little side, like on the side, I have like a little place like where I can like open and close the window, just put my hand in there and open and close the window. So it's so I could do that, right? But nobody could see inside my washroom. So I did that. I did everything. I'm waiting, and then by this time I had started letting out Bojangles, because I had like started taking him out on the leash so that for him to get used to the neighborhood. And then there was this cat that was a couple doors down that he befriended, so he was there, so I wasn't worried too much about the Bojangles as much, So my candle is burning. It's time to go to bed, bring in Bojangles, and we fall asleep. And then again, every day it was the same scenario. This girl still hadn't fixed her muffler. The only thing that was different that day is that the wood chipper wasn't in front of the house, but the lady downstairs was not stable, as we found out later. And then was always screaming at her son. And I mean, it was like, yeah. So this was still going on. And then the next morning I was to let this candle burn out by itself. So then once I finished, once the candle was to stop burning by itself, I was to take it and I was to burn 3 laurel leaves. And I was to have it powdered into like a dust almost. And once I was finished burning these leaves, I was to take the whole thing and then just like outside, to let it go and to let it go up to the heavens and release whatever was what I felt was a curse, right? Well, now I just finished doing all that, okay? And I've never been so nervous in my life, because literally I felt like I was doing like a spell of some sort, and that's pretty much what I was doing. So I go back to sit in the dining room, and then Jay phones me. And then so he asked me, so he says, so what happened and whatever. So I told him, I go, nothing happened. I did what she said. The candle was burned, and sorry, that scared me. I burned the laurel leaves, and I let that go, and nothing happened. The second I said nothing happened, okay, it sounded like a thunderbolt hit the washroom. And Jay's on the other end, and I screamed, and then he heard all of that, and he's like, oh my God, what just happened? And I'm like, oh my God, I have no idea. It sounded like he goes, I know. He goes, well, go look, I come into the washroom, and in my washroom, I had like a metal coat rack that I would like hang my bathrobe and towels and stuff like that. And it was just in front of the window. The mirror that was cocked in place. I'm telling you, there was no way this mirror could have got unhinged from there. There was no way that this could have happened. Well, this mirror fell from the window onto the metal coat rack right on the mirror and fell off of the washroom. Like fell on. And the mirror was holding by a thread. Okay, I mean like by like on the metal coat rack, and it was wedged where the door was to prevent it from falling further. And I was just like, what just happened? Like, what just happened? And then I looked at the bathtub, and I had like Archangel Michael was still there, because when I took the paper with my name on it, I had to put the laurel leaves in it to burn my paper with the laurel leaves and everything. So my picture was still there with Archangel Michael, and I took a snapshot of what had happened in the washroom to show Jay. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. There is no way that this mirror didn't break, first of all. How is this mirror holding on right now by a thread on the corner on this metal coat rack, like, I am telling you, I could not believe what had just happened. And the noise was supernatural. I'm telling you, it was not from here. It was of course the mirror and on, like, that made a noise, but the noise that came out of there was beyond that. It was not supernatural. And even Jay said it. He goes, that was insane. The noise that came out of there was insane. So I know that that place was holding some bad energy, and I was just feeding it by all the negative stuff that was happening around me. I was just feeding this entity because of all the grief that I was experiencing from moving into this place and experiencing everything that I was experiencing. So the more grief that I was experiencing, the more things would happen to feed this entity. And I know for a fact, and I will talk to you in a future video about that. I know for a fact that it was Archangel Michael who had came that day and had made the spirit leave, and they left out the window, and that's why it caused so much noise and all that, And then after this happened, my whole life started to change from that moment on. And yeah. And once again, it was just incredible that what had happened that day. But there's a second part to this story, which of course I will tell you, because I've told you everything so far, and I'm not gonna leave you hanging on this one. But everything changed for me starting from this point. So this was unbelievable. Archangel Michael came to my rescue, and you will hear more about Archangel Michael, because I've had other experiences with him. So I will let this video go here, but I should have filmed this video actually like on Halloween, because yeah, this is what it is, but I'm saying everything in order. So I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.